You should obtain advice from your doctor or medical professional before participating in any activities offered by Chronically Awesome. Never rely on our content in place of seeking professional medical advice. By using this video, you agree that you are voluntarily using or acting upon our content. You also agree that, save where Chronically Awesome is at fault, your use of or acting upon the content is at your own risk, including, but not limited to, all risk to yourself of harm, injury or illness, and in particular any harm, injury or illness resulting from overexertion or exacerbation of any medical conditions caused by the use of the content. Always remember that, if you experience pain while using or acting upon our content, stop and consult your doctor or medical professional. Always warm up before a class and warm down after. You do not need to complete an entire class. You can always start with a short section and build up to completing a full class over time. Pace yourself and listen to your body. Most of all, have fun. Exercise should be empowering and make you feel good. If it's not fun, try a different style of class until you find something you enjoy.
Hi, so we're going to be building on from the previous videos that I've already done with you today, particularly going to be focusing on using those deep core muscles, which really helps support and build the spine within. So a few more challenging movements. We're going to be mainly in the relaxation position. The only equipment you'll need is a small folded up towel or a small head cushion, just to make sure you have the correct neck alignment when lying down. And that's it, so I look forward to seeing you on the mat. So bring yourself carefully down onto the mat, and if you need a small head cushion or a folded up towel to place behind your head, make sure you have one so we have that nice correct alignment in the neck, so we're not feeling our head drop back or feeling it come forward too much. So let's just take a moment here, just feeling everything relaxing into the mat. We're going to have the feet parallel and about hip width apart, and just start to feel the three body weights get a little bit heavier into the mat, so the back of the head, the back of the rib cage and the back of the pelvis. Just feeling those thighs sit comfortably into the hip sockets, the shoulders drawing away. And you can have your eyes closed for a moment. We can just take a few breaths here, just taking this time for you before we start warming our body up a little bit. We're taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And releasing all that air out the mouth. Breathing in. And then just releasing everything out. And with each breath, hopefully just starting to feel the body become a little bit more relaxed, a little bit softer. Let's just go for one more breath here. Feeling length in the spine, space between each vertebra. And if your eyes are closed at this point, just bringing some awareness back, looking ahead in the ceiling. We're going to come into a really nice exercise called the ribcage closure. So this is really, really good for not only releasing tension in the neck and the mid-back, but it's great for mobilizing our shoulders as well. So we want to take a breath in as we start to reach those arms up over chest, palms facing our knees. And then as we exhale, we're going to draw the arms back. Now, as we start to draw them back, we're going to start to work those deep abdominals a little bit. The aim is to keep the ribs nice and grounded onto the mat, so we're not letting them flare out. And then we're going to bring those arms back over chest and down by the side of the body. So it's not about how far you take your arms, it's using that deep core connection, those transverse abdominals, to really keep that lovely neutral alignment in our spine grounded. Coming back up and back down. So let's just continue going with these. You're breathing in, reaching those arms above chest, exhaling, drawing them, framing your arms with your ears without letting those ribs lift away. Breathing in, coming back over chest and exhaling. Breathing in and exhaling, drawing those arms towards the back of the room. Breathing in. So the idea is just to to keep everything else really stable. The only thing we're working at the moment are our shoulders and those deep abdominals to keep our spine nice, long and in alignment. Breathing in. Let's go for 3 more. Breathing in and exhaling, reach. Breathing in and exhaling. It's just a really nice exercise, just getting everything a little bit warmed up, freeing any tension you might be feeling. Be really mindful of your range of movement. Good, and then you can just rest those arms down by the side. We're going to come into something called Starfish now. So let's bring those arms back over chest, palms facing the knees, just holding them there for 1 second. I'm going to add a little bit of coordination this time. So we're going to take our left leg and we're going to slide it away from us. And you're going to take your right arm and you're going to reach that one back. So now we're drawing away from the hip and the shoulder. We're still using those deep abdominals to keep our spine in alignment. The arm that is still above chest, we're going to lower that down towards our hip. And then we're going to bring everything back to center and switch over. Let's bring everything back and going over to the other side. So we're adding the hips now, as well as our shoulders, as well as challenging our brain a little bit, and still working those deep abdominals to keep that spine nice and neutral. Heavy grounded pelvis. Let's add some breathing. Let's breathe in, reach those arms above chest. Exhaling, lengthening leg and arm away. Breathing in. Exhaling. Breathing in. And exhaling. So really thinking about the alignment as well, from the wrist to the elbows to the shoulder. Really slow and controlled movements. We're going to do 1 more to each side, making sure you're nice and even. And after your last one, no rush, you can just bring those arms down by the side of the body. And we're going to just work the hips a little bit more. And we're also going to add some spine work as well. So let's come into our spine curl. So just making sure that those feet aren't too far away from the body and they're not too close. They're still in a nice parallel, hip width apart. Really thinking about pressing down that big toe, little toe center of the heel. And when you're happy, we're going to start by just scooping that belly, tilting that pelvis up towards the ceiling as we start to peel the spine up and away off the mat. So we're really opening up our hips, really lengthening those knees away, keeping that bottom high, coming to about the tips of our shoulder blades, just holding here. Taking a breath in, exhaling, we're going to slowly come down bone by bone. So we're still keeping that tailbone really tilted up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to find that nice neutral again. So let's do 2 of those again. Breath in to prepare, exhaling. Let's tuck that tailbone. Push through the feet, open those hips. The hips come up, the ribs come down. Hold here for a breath. And then exhaling, coming back down. Slowly with control. Watching those knees don't roll in or roll out. Good. Let's do 1 more just like this. Exhaling. Tilt that tailbone, push through the feet, opening the hips, lengthen those knees away. The hips are coming up, the ribs are coming down, just holding here. You might want to lose your head cushion at this point if you're finding it's a bit more tension in the neck. It's completely up to you. And then let's bring ourselves down. So we're going to add a little bit more challenge now by adding some heel lifts into the spine curl as well. So let's come into our regular spine curl. Breath in, breath out, tucking that tailbone, opening the hips, holding here for a moment. And then I just want you to lift that left heel, lift that right heel, keep the heels lifted as we lower the spine back down. Slowly with control through the center line. And then once we've grounded that tailbone, we can lower the feet back down. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Breath in, breath out. Hips come up, ribs come down. I'm going to start with the right foot, so lift the right heel, the left heel, maintain squeezing those glutes, and then lowering yourself down, bone by bone by bone. And then you can just lower the feet back down. Let's just do 1 more. If this is okay, you can do this without the feet. You can just continue with the spine curls with the feet fully down. So exhaling. Really opening those hips. A really good hip strengthener, this one. Breath in at the top. Let's lift one heel, let's lift the other, let's maintain, let's squeeze, and then just lower down with control. And then you can just lower those heels down one by one. Really good. So let's just come into a single knee fold with that right leg, just holding it here, maintaining a nice 90-degree angle. And then if you're happy, you can just draw the left leg to join it. Hold here for a moment, and then bringing those knees in, just give yourself a very quick little hug. You can just open, massage the small lower back, circle the knees a little bit. And then place those feet back down to the floor. So we're going to just warm up the feet a little bit and do quite a good leg exercise as well. So we're going to come into our single knee fold with the right leg. So lifting that heel first and drawing that knee in. Holding it here, we're still keeping our neutral, so we haven't flattened that lower back by drawing the knee in too far. We have that grounded tailbone. And we're going to lengthen that left leg away first. We're going to take our hands, place it behind the back of our thigh. So we're sort of pushing the thigh into the hands, and the hands are sort of being pushed into the thigh as well. And we're going to just start to extend that leg up towards the ceiling. We're going to flex the foot, and we're going to bring that heel towards our thigh. Point, lift, flex, lower. Point, lift, flex, lower. Just 2 more. Good. So keeping the elbows nice and wide as well. Really opening up that chest. Good. And then after your last one, you can just bring that knee in. Just hold it there. We're just going to add some ankle circles now. So we're going to go clockwise. Oop. Might be a bit clicky. Don't force it again. Just let it do. Just natural. Be gentle. And then we're going to go the other side. And then just releasing that knee, coming back into your knee folds, and then just lowering that foot down back to the mat, and then sliding the other leg back. So we've got both knees now back into the mat. Let's go to the other side. So we're into the left leg now. Let's lift that heel, come into a single knee fold first. Nice 90-degree angle. We're not drawing that knee in too far yet, so we're just going to hold it here. And then we're going to clasp our hands behind the back of the thigh, keeping our chest open, our elbows are wide, and we're going to slide that right leg now along the floor. So let's come into our little point and flex that we did. So we're going to extend that leg up towards the ceiling as far as you can go. Don't force it. You might only be able to come to here, maybe here. It's completely your own range of movement. But once you're at the top, we're going to flex the foot and kick that heel down towards the back of our thigh. We're going to point, lift, and then flex again. We're pointing, lifting, flexing. Good. Let's just do a couple more. Good. Let's just do one more. And then just coming into a nice single knee fold where we're just going to circle that ankle gently. Just doing a few one way and a few the other. Good. Let's give it a nice one more. Pull in, and then we can lower that knee carefully or that foot back down carefully and let the other leg slide and join it. So we're going to come into a little bit more centering work, so we're really getting an understanding of those deep abdominals and the core connection. But this time we're going to do it with a little less stability. So building on from my last videos, we're going to have the arms above the chest, palms facing towards each other. And we're going to just come into a double knee fold, so lifting the right and lifting the left. Just making sure we've still got that neutral so the knees aren't too far in towards the body. You're going to take a breath in, and as you do so, we're going to start to lower or tap that toe down, but maintaining the angle of the knee. So you're thinking thigh bone moving in a hip socket. So we're breathing in and exhaling. So the breath is really helping us get an understanding of that core stability, keeping our spine in a nice long alignment. So breathing in, maintaining that angle of the knee, exhaling, coming back, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. If you prefer to do it with the arms down, that's perfectly fine. We all have our preferences. Just make sure we're not gripping the mat with our arms. Breathing in and exhaling. And you might only be able to come halfway. Again, it's working with your range of movement. But we're really trying to keep those ribs heavy, that tailbone grounded. Chest is open, we're feeling no tension. We're just going to do one more to each side. Good. And then after you've done your final set, just draw those knees back in, give yourself a lovely little hug, and just give yourself a bit of release. So we're just going to open those knees out, just do small circles. Again, don't force, don't overstretch your range of movement. Going the other way. Good. And then just placing those feet back down. We're going to come into some bridge work now. We're going to start to ramp up the challenge a little bit more now. So making sure that your feet again aren't too far away or too close. The bridge is where we're simply going to be pushing through the feet, really engaging those glutes and the backs of the thighs, as opposed to peeling and wheeling the spine all off the mat. So I'll just do a quick demo for you. We're going to take a quick breath in and we're going to push ourselves up, and we're going to hold here. So we're really feeling the backs of the thighs working, the glutes working, up onto the tips of the shoulders, really thinking and opening those hips, squeezing. I'm just going to hold here, and then we're going to carefully lower back down and then push back up. So we exhale, inhale, exhale slowly, inhale. So even though we're just slightly touching the mat, but we're not letting ourselves really rest. We're going to do 4 more. 4, 3, even weight through those feet, 2, last one, up, and then just hold here for 1 more breath, and then you can just carefully lower yourself down. So remembering that spine curl, going bone by bone by bone and relaxing. So now we're going to add the challenge by doing some single knee folds with it. So let's take a breath in and push through the feet into our bridge position. I then want you to slightly take the weight over to the left, keeping those hips level as we start to fold that right knee into a single knee fold. Maintain this position. Hold here. Don't let that other side drop. Lower that foot back down with control, and then come out of that bridge. Nice spine curl down, bone by bone. Other side. So let's bridge up. Breathe in. Hold, maintain, slightly shift the weight over, but don't let those hips drop. We're going to lift that heel, come into a single knee fold. Hold here. Keep that height, don't let that bottom drop. And then we can lower that foot back down and spine curl back down. Good. If the legs are too much, we can just carry on with just doing the regular bridge by just bridging up, keeping our feet down. Now we're going to go for one more set of these, but we're not going to have the break in the middle. We're going to go from right to left. So making sure we're happy, let's take a breath in and come into our bridge. And then we're going to shift the weight. Single knee fold with the right leg, hold, maintain, lower it back down. Keep that height at the bottom, shifting the weight. We're going to go over to the left, maintain, breathe in, breathe out, lower that leg, maintain that height, spine curl all the way back down. Good. If you need to, just give yourself a quick little hug, because we're going to advance a little bit more now. So we're going to come into the single knee fold in the bridge with an extended leg. So making sure that we're happy, let's take a breath in, bridge up. And then let's shift that weight slightly to the left as we come into a single knee fold with the right. Extend that leg and we're going to lower it down towards the opposite knee. Lift, lower, lift, one more time. Back into that single knee fold, foot down and spine curl out of it. Good. Other side. Breath in, bridge up. Shifting that weight. Single knee fold with the left leg. Keep height in that bottom. Extend that leg up to the ceiling if that's okay. And then we're going to lower and lift and lower and lift. One more. Lower and lift. Single knee fold. Lower that foot down and then carefully coming out of that spine curl or that bridge. Good. So let's just come into another little hug. Just release those hips, release those glutes, and then placing those feet back down. So if you have a cushion behind your head, just pushing it out the way for a second and replacing it with your hands. And if this is okay, we're going to lengthen both legs away. If this is too much for you, keep your knees bent. But the option is to have our legs lengthened away, slightly flexed feet, but not so much that you're going to be gripping in the hips. It's quite good to sort of have an understanding of our legs away because our spine is in a perfect neutral. There's no way it can't be. You should feel all those natural curves. So we want the hands behind the head, elbows in our peripheral vision, and we're going to come up to 10 curl-ups. So let's take a breath in, and as we exhale, you're going to tuck that chin and start to flex forward. So the elbows are going to come a little bit drawn in to keep our scapular placement happy. Hold here for a breath, exhaling, coming back down. So don't let those elbows collapse. We're going to maintain them in our vision. Good. So we want to keep about a fist width between our chin as well. So again, don't overflex, don't be gripping like this. Really using those core muscles as well as getting a lovely bit of flexion in our upper spine. Exhaling. Hold for a breath. And exhale, come back down. Good, we've got another 5 to go in your own time. Remember, you can always bend the knees if it's not feeling great for you today. So just as effective. Good. And then after you've done your 10, absolutely no rush at all. You can just bring yourself back down into your relaxation position. If you have a cushion or a towel, just placing that back behind your head. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back into a double knee fold. So let's bring that right leg up and follow it with the left. And this time we're going to bring those legs fully connected. So knees, thighs, and we want to maintain this position. We don't want the legs to be slipping away from each other. We're going to come into some hip rolls with the feet up, so it's a lot more challenging. If you prefer, you can do your hip rolls, which we've done in previous videos, with the feet down. So the challenge today is to do it up. Let's bring those legs together. Make sure we haven't drawn those knees too far in. We still want that little pocket of air. We still want to be in neutral. And bringing those arms out to the side, keeping that chest nice and open, palms facing the ceiling. So we're going to take a breath in, and as we exhale, maintaining that connection of the legs, we're going to start to draw them over to the right, feeling that left hip start to lift, but not letting those knees slip away from each other. So we're really using that core for the control. So let's exhale. Gentle spinal rotation, keeping those shoulders on the mat. Breath in, hold. Exhaling back to center. Quick breath and exhaling. Maintain. So it's real control. The idea is to keep our chest nice and wide and open. We're not letting those shoulders lift away. If you're finding that they are lifting away, we're rotating too much and we've lost the control with the deep abdominals. Again, if this is too much, you can do this with the feet down to give yourself a little bit more support. So I'll just quickly show you. That opposite foot lifts. So it's complete preference with what you want to do. But let's just do one more set on each side, making sure you're even. Squeezing those abdominals, really using them. Good. And then once you're even on both sides, you can just draw those knees in, just give yourself a quick little hug. Just circle those knees. And then you're going to place them back down by the side of, not by the side, just placing those feet back down to the mat. So I'm now going to take you into an exercise called the 100, which is a really good exercise, not only for our coordination, our stamina, but it's great for our breathing and really, really good for getting some feedback with those ribs and really starting to feel them relax and close in and become a little bit heavier into that mat. So, as long as you're happy to hold a curl up with no support from the hands. So, just watching me for a moment, I'm going to tuck my chin and I'm going to reach forward and I'm just going to maintain this position. So as you can see, I've reached my arms forward. They're about just in line with my hips. So I've got that nice alignment. I've got strong fingers trying to reach towards my toes. Soft elbows if you're hypermobile. You're going to start to pump. So imagine you're pressing down with your hands, the movement's coming from the shoulder. And we're going to breathe in for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going with this breath, breathing in and breathing out. At any point you feel fatigue in the neck, just lower your head down and continue the beats with the arms. But we're really having quite a strong push down with those hands, maintaining that curl up. It's not about height, but you're breathing in and you're exhaling. Let's do one more set. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop beating those arms, lower them down, lower that head down really carefully. And just let everything relax for a moment into the mat. And just, you can have your eyes closed. You can just gently look over from shoulder to shoulder just to free up anything. Especially if you did get a little bit of tension in your neck. We build up that stamina. But as we progress, we start to use the legs a lot more and make it a little bit more challenging, a little bit more dynamic. Good. So let's just bring those feet a little bit wider now. Let's come into some knee rolls. So having the arms just out by the side again. We're going to take both knees over to the right. Nice bit of release in the spine and the hips. Draw it back to center and then going over to the other side. Come back and over. Should feel quite nice. Keeping that chest nice and open. Still got a little bit of control there with the tummy. Making sure those shoulders stay connected to the mat. Let's just do one more to each side, making sure you're even. Good, and then just walking those feet back to center, and then the arms can come down by the side again. We're just going to do 3 more spine curls with no variations, just to give that spine a little bit more flexion. Always feels really, really nice. So let's take a breath in. As we exhale, let's scoop that belly, push through the feet, open those hips, feeling the hips come up, the ribs come down. Little breath in, exhaling. Coming back down. 2 more. Breath in at the top, exhaling. And just last one. Really opening those hips. Lengthening those knees away. Breath in, breath out. Good. And we're going to carefully come onto our side, but just be really careful. Take your time with this. We are going to come up to a seated position. Again, just to avoid any high blood pressure, low blood pressure when sitting up, and I don't want anyone to feel poorly by doing so. Just really taking your time up to a seated position. And we're going to come into our long frog. So if you need a block or a thick book to sit in, if sitting up is really uncomfortable and you're finding that you're very, very crouched, sitting on a block or a book can be really, really helpful. So we want that nice long spine. Into our long frog, so the feet are together, the knees are open. And again, we can have some cushions or some balls if you find that having the knees open is a little bit too much for your hips. We're going to come into our side reach, which is really important to get that little bit of lateral flexion into our spine. So let's have those arms down by the side of the body. Long spine, really sitting up on those seat bones. Let's take a breath in as we reach that left arm up, lowering that shoulder away, bending the opposite elbow as we take a nice little flexion over. And then coming from that center, restacking, lowering that arm down, other side, breathing in and exhaling. Breathing in and exhaling. Good. Keep going. So we want that arm in our peripheral vision, ideally. Back down. So think head, neck, upper spine, reaching over. Breathing in. Restacking. Let's just do one more to each side. Head and neck flexing over. Breathing in. Head and neck. Good. So I'm just going to come onto my side. So this time we're going to have the feet down now. So still a fair distance away from the body. About parallel and hip width. We're really going to be sitting nice and tall up. And we're just going to do a little bit of a C curve. So I'm going to just show you, so my arms are going to be just sort of resting by behind my backs of my thighs, elbows are wide, the shoulders are drawn away from the ears. I want you to think about scooping that belly, so you're pushing that belly button towards the back of your spine and rolling off your seat bones. So we're scooping, coming off our seat bones, and simultaneously we're going to start to flex that upper spine and tuck that chin a little bit. So we're coming into what we call a C curve. So we're holding this, our elbows are nice and wide, keeping those feet down, just holding, maintaining this position, keeping that tummy really scooped. You want to sort of think your shoulders are still in line with your hips. And then we're just going to restack ourselves back up. So we're going to take a breath in, tuck the chin, scoop the belly, come off those seat bones. Maintain the position, and then come back up, looking forward. So breathing in. Just hold a couple of breaths here, and then restacking. Let's just do two more. So scoop that belly. Imagine an ice cream scoop. Don't over tuck that chin either. Last one. And then coming back. And then we're going to bring ourselves back into our long frog position, so the feet together, legs a fair distance away from the body. We're going to come into a spine stretch forward, so we're just going to really allow that spine to come as far forward as it can without disturbing the pelvis. So let's take a breath in, and we're going to tuck that chin, and then as we exhale we're going to keep that belly scooped, and we're just going to allow ourselves to flex that spine forward, scooping that belly. Maintain the position here, and then restacking from the bottom. Back up. So let's go again. Let's tuck that chin, breathing in and coming forward. So it almost feel like we're going up and over a ball a little bit, just allowing that spine to come forward. Breathing in here. Restacking. Last one, tucking that chin and just allowing yourself to come forward. And then just coming from the bottom, so engaging those abdominals, restacking the spine, back up. Let's close those knees together. So we're back to being nice and parallel, so the thighs, the knees, the legs are going to come together. We're going to bring those arms forward and making sure those arms are down the backs of the rib cage so they're not pinching up. Nice strong fingers. We're going to just open that arm out to the right, following it with our head, reaching and then drawing it back in. So you're following it with your head. Think head, neck, upper spine. Breathing in, exhaling. Breathing in. Let's just do one more to each side. Exhaling. Let's lower those arms, let's just roll those shoulders twice and come the other way as well. And then you can just very carefully lower yourself down onto the mat. You can come in any way you want, but just taking your time. I'm going to just use my body. I'm just going to slowly bring myself all the way down. Arms are going to go overhead, reaching those toes away, just having this lovely full body stretch. And then drawing those arms all the way back down to the side of the body, just opening those legs out. Arms down by the side, just letting the neck rock back and forward, side to side. And then just allowing yourself to completely relax and submerge into the mat. And hopefully you've enjoyed this session today. Really take your time. Take as much time as you need, just taking time out for you today on the mat, especially before you come up to a standing position. But just enjoy this sensation and thanking your body for working today. And I hope to see you very soon.